All right. Thanks so much for coming out this evening. I've got folks in front of and behind me. I'm not sure where I'm going to stand, but Mary Beth wants me within view of this camera right here. So welcome everybody to the July meeting for the Appalachian Mountain Bike Club. For those of you who don't know, I'm Matthew Kellogg. I work for y'all. Dave Williams in the back, he also works for y'all. And Francis is also working for y'all. Those two are both on the trail crew. We've got two other members that can't make it this evening. And we're adding a fifth member for just a short amount of time while Francis will be around through December, basically. But we've got a new AmeriCorps team member coming on next month. And so we're excited to invite Jessica Potts to town. She's moving from the Pacific Northwest and will be residing here in South Knoxville for at least the next year. If we do it right, she stays for 2 years for her AmeriCorps 2-year term. And we can't wait to have her on the ground here shortly. So hopefully she'll make it to the next meeting and everybody can introduce themselves to her. All right, weather reports. So everything was pretty good for a while, and then we got into a bit of a rain pattern. So I know that a lot of these showers are pretty spotty. You've got two options as far as your intel for where to ride. You can do the easy thing, which is go to ambcnox.org and look at what Dave puts up on the website. If you just don't trust Dave, and some people just say, hey, you know, I don't know. It didn't rain very much at my house, you know. So you can also use another tool that's available, which is rainpursuit.org. Okay, Rain Pursuit, you can pull up a map tab and actually click on a certain area. It will tell you the radar-based precipitation for your area. I know that it's pretty doggone accurate because at my house I got about 2 inches last night. Rain Pursuit said 1.89 for my area. But like I say, last night's showers were pretty localized. So nonetheless, Dave is doing a lot of that homework, but if you just don't trust Dave, you can check it there too. But nonetheless, we are the conservative voice for the trails. So if we say it's not great to ride, please just understand that it's not great to ride. It's probably going to be great to ride the next day as long as we don't get any more rain. With that, I do want to let you know what part of the crew's been up to. They've gotten all the mapping complete at Concord. So the new trails at Concord, not only are they all built and open, but they're also all mapped on Trailforks, the application. So that's the app that we all, or that the club updates on a consistent basis. If you have a problem with your Trailforks not updating, you can manually update a certain region. That certainly helped out to me. If you just don't see the trails, they are really there. They're in the woods, but they're also on the map if you download the region, Tennessee region again. So with that, we'll go on to some news that we've got, and a little bit of a teaser, which I don't usually do teasers, but we've got a jump line that's going to get built this coming fall, and it's starting up pretty soon. So it's a collaboration with the city of Knoxville and with AMBC. So we are going to be working on the jump line at Baker Creek called Fire Drill. It is the outer edge of the asphalt jump line right now. And so it is gravel, and it gets used very infrequently. And what we're going to do is make it way better so that people can use it all the time. We're going to biggie size that line. We're looking at purchasing a number of features. We're, like I say, we're partnering with the city of Knoxville on this, and excited to have this thing underway in the month of September. Our crew is going to build it in-house, so do all the modifications to that line. And we're going to be using pre-built features and have some great wood takeoffs. I think this thing has a potato chip or a hammock feature as well. But nonetheless, great new jump line. I've got 6 fingers up over here, 6 new features. 6 features, pre-built features, will be purchased and installed. And the hope for all that is to get it done essentially a month before Fall Fest, so everybody has a little bit of time to get used to it and have some laps on it before you got to show off to all your friends. So that's exciting news, I believe. And if you haven't experienced any of the AMBC crews work recently, just head out to Concord and see what they've done out there. I think they're doing a bang-up job, doing work just as well as the pro contractors. And so give them a pat on the back next time you see them. So other projects that we're looking at right now, just sort of like on the frontier, are going to be a couple different projects. One's deep south Knox County that we're looking at, and then another one is sort of in east Knox County. So as those develop, we will be keeping you guys in the loop as far as what's going on there. We hope to be able to keep building trails all across the county and keep connecting parks with parks. So I've got a note on here. It is this. It's time to vote, and that is very accurate. We're open. It's not open season on voting. I guess the polls are open for early voting right now. So you got a couple options. AMBC, nonpartisan group. Nonetheless, we think it's important to go vote. We would suggest that you vote in any election, and you've got one going on right now. Early voting ends on the 27th, which is a Saturday. So I know that Two Bikes is going to be doing a ride to the polls on the 27th. Anybody from Two Bikes? No, I don't. Oh, wait. Come on up. You want to speak about what y'all are doing for the ride to polls, but you also got another event heading up as well, right?
Hello, Matt was supposed to be here, but he had to go grocery shopping.
It happens.
So we're doing an early voting ride on Saturday morning. It meets at Baker Creek parking lot at 10 a.m. Rolls over to the City County building, possibly coffee afterwards at a local shop. We suggest bringing a lock and definitely bring your ID. Also, the mayor might be there, so that could be cool. And then this Friday, we're doing our critical mass instead of critical mass. So if you like to ride bikes with your kids or just want to ride bikes with a bunch of kids to a splash pad, we're leaving the shop at 6 p.m. We're going just cruising the Greenway to the World's Fair splash pad and then going to go get ice cream afterwards nearby.
So awesome. That sounds dangerous. I love the... with the talk of new trails in other areas around the county, I do also want to always sort of touch base from time to time on ride etiquette. We're going to post up online just sort of helpful tips for getting along with your neighbors, and that's really what it comes down to, is that we're out on the trails with all of our neighbors constantly. And it doesn't matter if you're walking or running or walking your dog or riding your bike or riding an e-bike. You just need to be a good neighbor and enjoy the trails that we have. And, there are oftentimes, rules on how you should yield and all this stuff. Just my rule of thumb is yield to everybody. Just stop and say hello. And at that point, we're going to have trails for a long time, and everybody's going to get along just fine and dandy. So, Chris Howard, you're on my agenda. And for those who don't know, Chris Howard is with Alliance Brewing. Come on up, Chris. Chris has been concocting an idea for a number of years, and Carter Miller, who serves on our board, helped send this one over the finish line. Chris, we got a camera right there.
Yeah.
Yeah. Who? Dave, can you tell who's online? Is Clary in hand there? Should we? Okay. Anyway, but nonetheless, Chris and Alliance have been on this block for eons.
9 years.
9 years.
9 years. Yep.
And they wanted to roll out a program to help feed our organization, and we really appreciate the thought, and it's going to benefit not only y'all as consumers, but also us as a nonprofit. So, Chris, tell us about what you guys got in mind and how it's going to work.
All right, so all you got to do is come into Alliance and just tell them, give me my AMBC discount. So you get 50 cents off, and then we get 50 cents to the club. So end of the month, we'll...
Up higher.
Oh, I'm sorry. So end of the month, we'll just give a check to the club, and there we go. So, yeah.
Awesome. So essentially, you're going to save 50 cents, and then they're going to cut a check for a half a buck to us as well. Per pint. So every time you head up to the register, just say, hey, I'm with the club. They've got a button on the square reader behind the counter. And, I think it's going to be a great partnership. We've thoroughly enjoyed y'all's craft for a long time and appreciate the partnership. So,
thank you, sir.
Yeah, indeed. So I suggest potentially after tonight's meeting, tip your bartender here at Southside Garage and maybe consider a pint down at Alliance. And they've got all sorts of stuff going on throughout the week, whether it be runs or yoga or other events. Just check their calendar out. We can link to them in our Facebook page as well. I don't see Madeline from Joyride. Anybody from Joyride want to speak this evening? It doesn't sound like it. But I do know that Joyride has quite the calendar. I'm going to pop the link up in our show notes. It's basically ambcnox.org/Joyride. And all of the Joyride, the women's cycling events are on that calendar. All of their signups are up there already. And that is through the end of the year. They did have to reschedule a ride that was planned for this month. They've pushed it. That's the Norris ride. So nonetheless, plenty of opportunities for women to get together and ride bikes. Who from Social Ride wants to talk? Will, you want to talk about what's going on with Social Rides? Will, coming up.
Carter was going to be here, but he decided he didn't want to talk. So we had a ride last Big Fun Tuesday. We had about 20 people show up despite the heat. It was a good ride. It was very hot.
Yeah.
We showed up, had a good time. Next Big Fun Tuesday, August 6th, we're going to have another ride, of course, so come on out. We just had a ride this past Saturday get rained out. So look for that to get rescheduled. We're still going to do that at Baker Creek. Got some great sponsors. And we're always looking for volunteers. So if anybody wants to be a lead or sweep, hit up Carter or me. You can give us your phone number now or just get a hold of us. That's it.
Awesome. All right. Thank you so much. Kelsey with Wildside, come on up. Tell us, Wildside was here last month. Gave us a briefing on sort of what they had going on. It sounds like y'all had an opening, last Friday? So awesome. Tell us what's going on. And it sounds like you got some coupons too. All right.
Hi there. I was here last month, and I might have seen some of you at behind the scenes before we opened last week and a half ago. We did open this past Friday, the 19th, a little bit earlier than we had planned because everything is ready to go. So with Wildside being open, I do have coupons to pass out at the end of this meeting if you guys would like some. With the rain over the weekend, I do want to note that I checked with our bike lead, Hunter, and he said that all the trails stayed open even in the rain. The only thing that ended up closing down was our jump track. We are going to be open in the winter, and we are not sharing our trails with ski trails. It is just biking trails. We have 12 total trails with 8 miles, over 600 feet of elevation gain, 3-line jump park, dual slalom course, bike repair, bike wash stations, and e-bike and standard bike rentals. We are partnered with Specialized, so those are the bikes that we provide. We are still having our race this coming August. It's across country. We are going to be the first race of Go Nuts' fall series, and I also have coupons for that. It's a double-sided coupon, 2 deals, one good code. That's all.
All right. Well, thanks so much. So for folks who are thinking about checking out the park, make sure to hook up with Kelsey after the meeting and get you a discount on that and the race that's coming up. So I want to give a recap of where Dave, Warren, Francis, and Casey have been over the last month. You're going to notice over a dozen trees cleared from Lewiston. They've been out there doing quite a bit of work. Yep. Sharps Ridge, quite a bit of clearing over there. I also want to give a shout out to Scott Smith, who borrowed a brush blade and tackled a number of trails out there as well. That's something that if anybody's interested in helping out, feel free to get a hold of any of us on the crew. We can get you equipment, we can get you training, and get you out on the trails at your leisure. And you can also hook up with the crew during the day if you're interested in having somebody else work with you. Today they were out working on barn burner, given the moisture content. So lots of opportunities to get trail work done. They also finished up all the mapping work out at Concord this last month. You'll notice a new bridge out at Icy King. We had a work day not too terribly long ago where we had a group of volunteers carry out all the lumber. And it was a massive project just to get the lumber in place for that bridge. But the crew was able to build that bridge and remove all the old material out of the woods as well. So appreciate them for that. And in addition to the clearing work at Sharps, they also were at Fort Dickerson doing quite a bit. So a lot of those projects, where they are going, are based off of comments that we get from y'all. And so if you see problem areas, whether that be tread problems, foliage problems, or trees in the woods, you know what to do. trails@ambcnox.org. Send us an email, and we will do our best to address them in a timely fashion. coming into this next month, they're definitely going to be working on Baker Creek anytime that there's moisture available. And so that's one of those things with it being so dry, they just haven't had the right conditions to be able to work on those trails. But anytime they've got a decent amount of moisture, those trails are going to be temporarily closed, not only on the website, but also physically when you get to the top, there will be signage there. So just make sure not to run up on the crew as they're out wielding their implements. They're going to continue bridge replacements all across the South Loop in particular. They worked on a particularly muddy spot and did some turnpiking and actually removed some old bridging over in Hasty. So you'll notice that work done. I think that was suggested by Mr. Grant Barton over there, former board member, former vice president, mind you. Then as well, they're going to be hopping over to Sharps Ridge, working on the last bit of Lincoln, making sure that Catalyst Sports has a great AMTB loop over there. That's also going to be very weather dependent as we need quite a bit of moisture to work on those trails. So I didn't have Dave come up and tell any of his updates. Number one, because he's working hard updating the internet right now. But number two, because he will be leading next month's meeting in August. So get ready for the Dave show. He says he's getting his material all prepared. But nonetheless, we will see you the fourth Monday of August, August 26th, right back here. And as I mentioned before, tip your bartender here and consider grabbing a drink in Alliance. And when you're there, mention you're with AMBC. So anyway, thanks so much. Anybody else got anything while we're here? All right. This is the first meeting for Baby Charlie. Is that right? First meeting for Charlie McGrew. All right. Thanks, y'all. See you next month.